Hello everyone, and thank you for clicking on my link, Comments Cruisers. And basically what I do is I give my own commentary and reactions on the comments made on videos and articles. If this is something that you like, please like, comment, subscribe, and click the bell so you can be notified whenever I upload a new link. And if there is something that you would like for me to give a reaction to, hit me up on Comments Cruisers on Instagram. So without further ado, let's get into it. And as you can see, the title, it says, Woke Women Are Not Dateable. Before I get into this, I think there is a little bit of information that needs to be conveyed, and that is what the word woke means. So I have a definition of it here that I found, or pretty much somebody kind of describing what woke means. And the one that we're going to pay attention to is the one that says Urban Dictionary definition. The Urban Dictionary defines woke as being aware and knowing what's going on in the community. It's also mentioned its specific ties to racism and social injustice. To use woke accurately in a sentence, one that captures its connotation and nuances, you need to reference someone who is thinking of themselves, who sees the way in which racism, sexism, and classism affects how we live our lives on a daily basis. So as you notice, I highlighted the word sexism because this is the context in which we are referring to as woke. And it's specifically talking about feminism. And this is the reason why I say woke women are not dateable, because you cannot date someone that challenges you as a man, someone that seems to want to uplift their femininity and degrade your masculinity. And I know there are some extremists out there, and these are the women that I'm talking about, because there's different degrees of feminists, and some of them don't go that far. You know, they adopt certain views of feminism, but not all of them. And the ones that are extreme are the ones that I am referring to. I went out on the internet and I found some videos that kind of explain this. And the first one is from this woman called, her name is Bertina Art. And she is also a YouTube influencer. She has a channel called thinkspot.com. And basically, I want you guys to hear what they are saying. And I'm not going to play the whole thing, just this portion.
Tell a story. So there's this store in New York City called the Husband Store, where women can only go to choose a husband, And at the entrance to the store is this sign that you can only visit the store once. And there are 6 floors inside, and the men's value increases as women ascend each flight of stairs. And they're permitted to choose any man they want from any floor, or they can go up another floor, but they cannot go back down except to exit the building. So a woman goes into the store to find a husband. On the first floor, the sign says, "These men have jobs." On the second floor, the sign says, "These men have jobs, love kids, and are extremely good looking." Wow, the woman thinks, this is great, but she keeps going up. She goes to the 4th floor, and the sign there says, "These men have jobs, love kids, and are drop dead good looking, and they help with the housework." Mercy me, the woman says, "I can't stand it." Yet she still goes up to the 5th floor. And there the sign reads, "These men have jobs, love kids, are drop dead gorgeous, help with the housework, and have a strong romantic streak." The woman is tempted to stop there, but she doesn't. Instead, she goes to the 6th floor, where the sign reads, "You are visitor 3,261,496,012 to visit this floor. There are no men on this floor. This floor exists solely as proof that women are impossible to please. Thank you for shopping at the Husband Store." To avoid gender-biased charges across the street. And on the 1st floor, there are wives who love sex. On the 2nd floor, there are wives who love sex and who are kind. On the 3rd floor are wives who love sex, who are kind, and who enjoy sports. The 4th, 5th, and 6th floors have never been visited.
That's
the end of the story.
So basically what she's saying is that there was a store in New York, 2 stores, one for men and one for women to find their wives and the women to find their husbands. And basically on The women's store, the women went all the way up to the 6th floor where there wasn't anything. And they just said that the women are hard to please. I agree. Yes, women are hard to please. They want what they want, and then when they get what they want more. And when they get the more, they want even more. And it's just ongoing. You'll never, ever, ever be able to please these women. And that is the problem, right? So they're saying that the men are a lot more simpler. The 4th, 5th, and 6th floor did not get visited because men were satisfied with a woman that didn't give them any problems, a woman that watched sports, and a woman that likes sex. That was it. Now, I'm not saying, all men are simple like that, because I'm not speaking for all men, but if you fit in with that category, then yes, and same like with the difficult women, if you fit in with that category, then that is who I am referring to. Let's go into some of the comments that were made on this topic. We have Kim Crowfoot. I believe that's how you pronounce her name. She said a man also need their woman to respect him. It is very important to them. So as we scroll down, Tim says, this is an underrated comment. Neil says, amen. And then Potts says, the idea of a wife respecting her husband is in the Bible. A man and a wife are to submit to each other, and a man is to love his wife as he loves himself. Jesus said a man and a woman should become one flesh, not preaching, just pointing out your comment has some real meat to it. That is actually in the Bible. It does say that, but I don't think for a feminist woman, I don't even think they pay attention to it. I think they skip over that. They don't even want to hear it, right? So does that make them Christian? Are they Christian? Can they be Christian and just pick and choose whatever scripture they want to abide by? I mean, to me, if you're Christian or whatever and you're doing the Bible, you should abide by it wholeheartedly. You can't just pick which ones feel comfortable to you, at least I don't think. And then you got your man Barron. He says, Potts, no men are not supposed to submit to their wives, only women to the man. Again, that is actually in the Bible. Let's scroll down and see what else we have. We have if a woman find a woman that takes accountability, can genuinely admit when she's wrong without a massive blow up to her female ego, you are truly fortunate. Let me see what they're saying under this one. Sammy, brother, there is no such thing as a genuine apology from a woman. They will never apologize or admit they were at fault without having to mention what starts the problem. They can never say sorry and leave it at that. I learned that from my wife and daughter. Big Daddy Sugar Cane, you got a point there. So Sammy comes and says, not all women Big Daddy Sugar Cane. Perhaps in your experience, however, I will always admit I'm sorry when I am. Okay, so I think this Sammy is a woman. Even to my kids. In fact, I apologized to my daughter just yesterday. Apologizing is easy, yet these days it seems like to some it's admitting some sort of defeat when in reality is nothing but growth and respect. Yeah, I mean, they are both right. There are women out there that find it really hard to admit when they're wrong. And then there are women that don't, and it's just, and At the same time, there's men like this as well, you know. I wouldn't just say that is just specifically a woman thing, but yeah, women have a harder time with it than men, I think, you know, admitting it. It doesn't apply to everyone. Again, like I said before, if this applies to you, you know who you are, you know what I mean? If it doesn't apply to you, then, hey, you know, it doesn't apply to you. So no need to be getting offended. And if you do, can't help you. There is actually another video that I would like to share with you guys. And this video comes from another YouTuber. Her name is Brittany Selimer.
And to be fair, I really don't exactly blame these types of men for not wanting to date woke women, especially if they're anything even remotely similar to this woman here. Who needs YouTube rabbit holes when you have the BBC broadcasting literal white supremacist propaganda? The woman who wrote this tweet, I'm not going to name her because I know that if I do, she'll probably accuse me of bullying or something like that. But anyway, she wrote this tweet in response to a tweet from BBC that read, "We'll introduce you to a trad wife, a young woman who has chosen to be a traditional wife, staying at home to take care of the household chores while her husband works, and she is fine with submitting to her husband as he makes the key decisions in their lives." So basically, this woman is claiming that to want to be a traditional wife it's the same thing as wanting to promote white supremacist propaganda. For those in my comments who don't seem to know, so-called trad wives are white supremacist women who devote themselves to domestic duties in the service of perpetuating the white race. It is a dog whistle meant to sound less white supremacist than it is. I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but this genuinely has to be one of the stupidest tweets I've ever seen in my entire life. Wanting to be a traditional wife has nothing to do, absolutely nothing to do with wanting to perpetuate the white race. It has to do with simply preferring traditional gender roles. And that's something that people, sorry to say, but of every race do. I can just imagine being a man and being married to a woman like this. And you know, you come home after a long day at work, it's been like a 9-hour shift, you were out doing manual labor, you know, pushing papers in a stuffy office all day, and you're really hungry and you say, "Honey, you know, would you mind just making me a meal, cooking some dinner, just this once?" And she whirls on you in this absolute like tornado of rage, like, "You're literally broadcasting white supremacists in our home. Think of the children." Actually, now that I think about it, this type of woman probably wouldn't have any children.
First of all, I didn't even know they had a term for it. Trad wives? I don't know. I think, you know, they make terms for everything today. You can't just leave things as it is, right? All of a sudden, they've got this catchword, selfie, you know, then they got foodies, and I don't know. It's people that eat food. I like food, you know. Anyways, they need a word for everything. So now they have trad wives. And I personally do not think there's a problem with a woman being a traditional wife, respecting the traditional roles between a man and a woman. I don't think there's any problem with it. And this is the reason why woke women are not dateable or even marriage material at that, because they have a problem with the traditional roles. Granted, we are in a different day and age, and that'll be a whole nother video on that specific topic as far as, you know, men and women and the work environment and stuff like that. But basically, if you're going to be married, I feel like as a man and a woman in that relationship, you need to establish how you guys are going to coexist. If you are with a woman that is a feminist and you love her for whatever reason, if you love her, then you and her need to have a discussion on how you can coexist. I mean, there's a lot of men out there that don't need the traditional woman either way. They can handle themselves. They don't have a problem with washing clothes and cooking dinner and all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, they can handle themselves. But again, it all depends. So let's jump into some of the comments for her video. So here we go. Let me scroll through some of these. Let's see which one sounds interesting. Liberal women standards: 6 feet or taller, has to have abs, has to have big arms, has to have the humor of a professional comedian, but don't dare make controversial jokes, has to pay for everything, has to have a job that pays a lot, has to be my doormat. Oh, is this a woman? X12. Has to be my doormat, has to accept that he has privilege for being male despite potentially coming from a working class background with absolutely no privilege. Has to accept his opinion means nothing because he is a male. So man standards can't be a cycle. So basically they're comparing what the woman's standards are, and then they say a male standards can't be a cycle. That's a big a big list, and it's crazy because this list of women's standards, I would say for certain types of women, yes. I don't know about this has to be my doormat thing. I mean, if you're any woman's doormat, bro, you gotta step up. I mean, yeah, you can't allow yourself to be anybody's doormat. Yeah, you have to step up. That's a personal problem you have. I wouldn't even blame it on a woman, because for you to even get down like that, that's just nah. You have to step up, bro. Zoidberg 444 says, I'd add have some basic hygiene and don't be disgustingly obese to that. Even that is hard to do in the dating market these days. Yeah, I hear that hygiene thing quite often. So there is definitely something to that statement. Brent says, but on me, and I accept me no matter what. Torgo, great comment. He has to be strong enough to dominate the world and its resources, but cannot be strong enough to dominate her and can't desire anything else but her. I mean, that comment itself is just a little bit, it's on point. These women, they want you to have this dominance and this strength as a man and, exert your masculinity. But you can't do it to her. You know what I'm saying? That's the only person in the world. So if this is the woman that you're going to be with, this is the person that you're going to be with primarily all the time, and you are conditioning yourself to not be dominant around her, which is all the time, that will become a habit. So when you go out in the real world, you're not going to even know how to be dominant, because at home, you can't even do it, Either way, I feel like there's a lot of problems with a lot of things. And again, like I said, if this is not you, then it doesn't apply to you. But these are real situations. These are real things that do happen to people. And these are real people out there that actually behave this way. The list of requirements that he put on there, the list of standards, they are things that women want. He's probably missing maybe about 12 or 24 more. But, it's true, and when I say women, I'm going to keep it general because I don't know all women, I'm going to keep it general. And if that applies to you, which you probably won't admit, guaranteed that a woman that has that many standards won't admit it. But if it applies to you, then it applies to you. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So that will be the conclusion of my video, my very first video of the year. And I'm hoping that you guys enjoyed it. I can promise you that it will get better as time goes on. If you guys have any comments or anything that was said, please leave comments in the comment section, like and subscribe, and tune in for my next video, which I'm going to be trying to do at least 2 or 3 weekly. And, welcome, Common Cruisers. I'm out.